Hello, Leonard. How's it going?
Hello, hello. I'm very good. How are you?
I mean, I'm fantastic, and you've been building some great applications using Nordcraft. Probably, you did build the biggest application in Nordcraft in terms of traffic. It had more traffic than the Nordcraft editor and their landing page combined. And you've used their tool to do it, and now you're outrunning them. And with that specific industry, I assume that there's lots of traffic going to your site.
Yep.
But it built an application that I think it was thousands or tens of thousands of users,
1,000. We're like 4.5K right now.
4.5 thousand users, and how many page visits every month?
I don't know. I really
Mm,
don't know. Not all of them are active. Like, to
Yeah,
be fair, not all of them are active, but it's pretty steady. Like,
but you built a legitimate business with thousands of people logging in and
yeah,
using it in Nordcraft, which makes you one of the top 1% people using Nordcraft, because most people just build and they never ship and it never gets out there, and they don't know how it handles when it comes to performance, when it comes to having lots of requests. And you went through that, you learned from that. So what has been your biggest thing that you're like, oh my god, I didn't know about this while I was building, and then the moment we actually had users, like I was like, oh my god, what did I do? I mean,
and,
like, you could just do one of all of them.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know, but funnily enough, the most hiccups and the most support requests in the first couple of weeks were just from login. In my mind, that was like an easy thing, right? So you just create an account. And it's obvious what to do, but it really wasn't obvious. And um, you gotta design it in a way that is actually intuitive and not because you just went through it 1,000 times. Because obviously, to you as a developer, it always feels easy.
Yeah.
But then you got to imagine someone who's like not as tech savvy and maybe hasn't created an account 10 times already. And he's like, why? And then they just spam a button and they just request some shit 10 times. And then, yeah. So that was one of the biggest things. Um, we also had to upgrade our Xano instance within the first hour of launching.
Because it
Uh,
crashed.
uh, but that was just me not knowing how much traffic is going to be. Right? I was like, okay, let's just
I
purchase
think
plan.
it
And
was
it was,
6 million API calls, right?
yeah, the beginning was interesting. Andreas messaged me and he was like, "Oh, that looks like a successful launch."
Oh, he's
uh,
trying to upsell you, or
no, actually, I reached out to him because I was like, "Oh, those are a lot of requests in Xano, and I know that everything's being proxied through Nordcraft."
yeah.
Um, and their $30 plan only includes, I think, 30K requests every month, I think. And
Uh,
I was making like 100K per day. So I'm like, let me ask him what this is gonna cost. So yeah,
that's why you always use prepaid credit cards for usage billing stuff, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But he was, to be fair, he was really kind about it. He was like, yeah, you can't actually see how many requests you're using in Nordcraft. So as long as you can see it, we're not gonna charge you for it, which is that's
Can,
very
we,
nice.
can you still see it, or did he just enable that for you, or you're still paying 29?
I'm still paying 29. Our requests have gone down a lot, right? Like we don't have 100K requests a day anymore, but yeah,
But it's also because you made it more efficient, right?
sort of, kind of. There was one thing, for example, it's a German and an English site. And so I tried Weglot, but that wasn't really what I needed because it doesn't work well with dynamic content. Like if you click on follow, for example, and then changes the switch to unfollow, it changes the text to unfollow, then that, like Weglot was like, what is this? I don't know this text element, get rid of it. And then it just displayed it in the wrong language, right? And it was just not a nice experience. So I tried building a language system on my own, but I did a horrible job and I stored everything in Xano. I had like a table with every page was one record, and with like a JSON that was assigning all of the fields. So it was like settings, headline 1, change username, and then like all the text I was mapping them. And I was also sending them with anytime anyone loaded a page, uh, which is a bit unnecessary. So like 20K requests a day, we're just sending the translations that never change, right? So it's not like dynamic.
You know, NoCode is variables, right? I remember I told you that in office hours.
Yeah. I'm aware. It was also pain to map, like setting 1, setting 2. It was just horrible. And then updating it, like anytime you added a new text element, you go into Xano, create a new object. It was like, ugh. Yeah, I don't use that anymore. But there were a lot of things that weren't optimized, that still aren't. But it still worked, and that's one of the things that you pushed me to do, actually, because you were like, just ship it, right? There's a lot of stuff that's wrong with it, but it works, and you will figure out what where the biggest pain point is that you got to work on once it's launched. You can't know before, and it's much worse spending like a year developing an app and then you launch and nobody uses it. Right? We didn't know in the beginning how many people were going to use it. So I spent I think I joined in October, September, and we launched pretty much in January, maybe. Around that time, I'm actually not sure. So like 4 months, 5 months, which is insane because I didn't know JavaScript or anything. Yeah. So first of all, that's a really fast time for the very first app, and then the fact that it's working. Right? There's a bunch of stuff wrong, a bunch of bugs, but it works. Like nobody's complaining every day, right? Like it's working fine. And you told me just ship it, just get out there and then work on it.
Your users can tell you what's broken with your app.
Yeah,
I mean, make it so that they can use it, right? But then
yeah, exactly.
You'll figure out like this button should be there. You'll figure that out once you get some feedback, and then they help you. Your first 100 users will help you build the application because you're building it for them. If you can get 100 people convinced that this is something they should sign up for, and then you can talk to that person who already has an interest, they can help you make it that way that you target all the people that are as crazy as them.
Yeah. And also in terms of features, right? I had like a million ideas of features I could build, but none of them were what they told me. So they used it and they told me a bunch of things like, why is this that way? And can we have this? And can we have this? And now I got a list of features that I'm implementing that they actually want. And I'm not spending like a year building something they don't care about.
You spend all your time on view transitions.
Yeah, that's that was actually quite easy. But yeah, but that's another thing, right? Like you as a developer, you think, well, I think I'm more of a designer than a developer. I'm like a mediocre designer and a mediocre developer, I guess.
Targeting you, Nordcraft's landing page is like saying this is how designers build or something like this. So they just
probably. Yeah.
Application with 6 million API calls. We need an army of Leonards. They're already counting their cash.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm an okay designer and I'm a worse developer by a lot.
Beautiful.
I actually don't know what I wanted to say. Anyway,
we can design if you want. If you forgot what we're talking about, we can show people what you're building in Nordcraft if you want.
Yeah, sure.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah, so there's like the main feed. You can there's some interesting hashtags you can choose from. You can switch to your following feed. You can bookmark a post. And something, there's also a huge performance thing. This is actually like This is a virtual scrolling list. That makes sense. So there's only ever, let me actually show you. Oh, you don't see my developer tools, right? You don't see that.
No, I'm not seeing your tools.
But there's only ever like 6 posts in the entire page.
Yeah.
No matter how far you scroll, like there's just 6 posts. Because in the beginning, in the earlier version, I just appended them, right? So if you scroll for 10 minutes, then you have like 500 posts. Each has like 50 DOM elements. So
you want a big thing when you're doing an application that I think most people forget when you do pagination, all those things, they are adding to it. And this is why I was always like, I never wanted to touch pagination any video, because I know whatever I'm going to explain, they're going to misunderstand it and they're going to do a massive thing that's going to be slow and janky. Pagination really depends on what you're building. If you're building a list of like items and you're scrolling down, or like a list of books, you can add to it if it's like on a desktop, if it's a dashboard. If you're building something for mobile experience, not everybody's using the latest iPhone, you want to limit the size of the DOM, you want to limit the size of the elements to make sure that your application will be performant in the next 15 minutes as well.
Yeah, 100%. I was using the intersection observer to get the next page.
Yeah. That's heavy.
It's okay, but I didn't take care of removing the earlier posts, right? So as you said, like you end up scrolling for 10 minutes and then you have 1,000 posts. And now I just load all of the posts, like in a background fetch. Like I get the first couple of posts, and then once you're on the site, I just get the next 500 or so, which is not that much, and it's just a virtual list, which is really nice.
So you just have a variable that never has like more than 10 elements or something, right?
Yeah, kinda. So do you know how virtual scrolling works? So it's like you're walking on a bridge and you take the wooden plank behind you and then you put it in front of you, and then you take your step and then you take the next one behind you and put it in front of you.
Did you do it with a variable, or did you use some library for that?
No, it's native in total. I can actually show you.
You're gonna share the screen that you're sharing, but I would love to.
Oh yeah,
that, because right now we're just taking the phone. Let's take a look at that. Let's add that to the scene here.
Well, I'm sorry for the company logo, but
I just want to. We're not seeing your screen, sir.
Oh, you don't see it still.
No. Can you share your screen again?
Okay. See it now?
There you go.
There you go. Good. Try again. Here you go. So this looks a little bit jaggy inside of NoCode, but basically,
it's your $500 font.
No, I actually changed the intro again. But yeah, so I have a variable that holds all of the posts. I'm just loading 30 now for testing, but this can go up to 1,000. I tested this and it works just fine. It's not that big of a variable. And then it basically just repeats over a couple of them, right? So I just take 4 right now. And I calculate where we're starting and how many are visible based on how far the user is scrolling down, if that makes sense. So it's like a conveyor belt, and the more distance there's at the top,
you have a variable where you're loading all your things in, and then you have a function to only you have an array like from here to here, and you're only looking at this specific piece, and then when they scroll down, it moves up and down and just always has the according one.
Yes.
So you have a minimal down. That is actually pretty darn smart.
Yeah, it is.
How are you listening for the events if you're scrolling?
It's just a normal scroll. So the container here is the height of this is all of the contents, all of the posts times the height of each post. so it's actually doing a real scroll, right? Like the main container is as tall as the feed actually is, but we're only rendering the items you can see.
If you scroll, if you're changing with this formula here you're using this formula to take a specific only like 6 pieces at the time, how are you changing that?
Yes.
Is there an event or?
Oh yeah. So there's it's formula, and I get the scroll top position. So when you scroll, there's obviously a distance between the top of the screen and where the first post is, and that increases
you
as
get
you scroll
that
down.
like if they scroll down like 10 times, the top will be different, right?
Yes.
So is there an event?
Yeah, it's just a scroll event listener.
Oh, okay. So you just do it on the post, or you do it on the,
But
you do it like on the div?
No, I'm doing this on this.
So if you go to events,
the container.
if you go to events, can you show us how I did it?
It's not possible natively in Total because it's not
So you did like,
sorry, because it's not
action
a
format.
Yeah, but it's only a passive event listener, because if you have active scrolling event listeners, that's really bad for performance. So I created a passive scroll event, but that's a really simple function. If it loads.
Oh, your code doesn't load. Oh, there you go. Passive container, throttle. Oh yeah, you're not registering an event. You're doing request animation frame. I like that. It will work very nice in Despia if you use request animation in case that's ever your plan.
Yeah, and I'm throttling it because request animation frame sometimes is way too much.
This is how you get 60 frames per second.
Exactly, and sometimes that's a bit too much, right? So you want to throttle it maybe, because if you have 5 of those and then they're running in the background all the time, then that's not so great. But yeah, that's a passive event listener, and then you get the distance from the top, and that's how I calculate the starting post, if that makes sense. So how many posts are we like faking at the top, and then I add to that to get the actual post I'm displaying.
That's it. Has there ever been something that you wanted to build or you needed to build and you couldn't do in NoCraft and you were like, oh God, I wish I used Whist or something like that? Or Bubble or React?
No. Nope, not really. Like, the only time I wish for React is when, like, for complete components.
You can use Spark.
I can just.
You can use Spark for that now.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of Spark, to be honest.
Just giving you the information.
Yeah, it's possible, of course, right? And I think you talked about this once. It's like, in the end, it's all JavaScript and HTML, and anything beyond that is just abstraction that is not needed for most things, right? Like this post element, like this component, there's not much to it. It's just some text and it's an image that's a slider. Okay, maybe the slider is a little bit complicated, but other than that, it's pretty simple.
I love that you don't use components. You just.
Well, I do. Look at
like, I'm not saying like some people have like their text block be a component or the hashtag would be a component, and I do like that because like you're moving the elements. If you have an application that you're actually working on that actually makes you money, that actually has users, you don't have time to make things being a component because you're moving things all the time because you don't even know in what direction your product is going. Your customers will tell you. So I like that you're keeping this open to yourself so you can go into any direction and you don't have to untangle everything to, get it to a place where it needs to be next week.
Yeah, and it's adding like, at least that's what it feels like, it's adding like so many more elements. I'm pretty sure, I actually haven't tested this on a live site, but I'm pretty sure like just a div within a div is better than having a component div with a component div. Like it feels like there's always some extra stuff that gets added that most of the time you don't really need. I'm not sure how NoCraft actually compiles it, but
It does wrap it in something. I mean, it does just inject it. It doesn't use a web component to render it, but you do like the last time I checked, they may have changed that. But when you create a component, like this is my component, and put a div in the component, if you look at the DOM, there will be this is my component with a div in it. So it does add not much, but if you do every little thing as a component, it does. It may add up, but they may have changed that. I did check that like half a year ago, so it could have changed.
Yeah, but it's also much faster to build.
Yes.
Like, this is not that complicated.
I like the way you use components. It's common sense components.
I mean, it's a lot.
I mean, you also have a lot, but you would have way more if every little piece would be a component.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And it's also one of the things I kind of miss, or maybe I'm just overthinking all of it. But like the stuff with like passive event listeners, and like
yeah, I mean,
sorry?
that is something that should be added, but you can build one yourself, right, and make it a package. That's a nice thing. It's an open ecosystem. But
yeah, I have a lot of stuff that's just a tiny function, like what's a good example?
Is PWA is probably short.
Yeah, is PWA pretty short.
Any specific reason why you do that?
This was in the very start of this project.
I'm minifying your code, but it doesn't at least format after you minify, so you can understand what's a little bit happening with that.
Well, I know what this is doing, right? And it was small, so I'm not going to touch it.
It's just minifying like a big critical piece of code may improve performance a little bit, but it creates more confusion for you. Yeah, exactly. For sure. But like, what else? I'm checking if it's a UUID with like some regis. I'm pretty sure I could do this in total, but in Nordcraft, I think you can. Regex code is something that I just let AI do. Yeah, me too. You need to be a witch to be able to read that. I'm not writing this. But yeah, I have a lot of small stuff in here. You have a click event listener. No way. No, it's not event listener. This is for the haptic feedback I was talking about. The simulating the click on the. That's pretty cool that you did there. Very cool. Yeah. So there has been no limitation in Nordcraft. You could, even if you need to bring something in that's custom code, you were always able to do that. Yeah. Also, like the most difficult thing for me right now is all the touch events, like especially in the chat. It's just like, for example, on the voice message. Actually, let me go to the real app. Wow, you made an application. On the voice. Oh, it looks like WhatsApp. That's where I copied all the designs from. Yes. But there's some stuff that is just like you have to be able to do. And this, then you got a thing or two, yeah. But then then you got a swipe to reply, and then you can double tap, and then you can like click once on an image to open it, and then you still need to be able to scroll vertically. So there's like 15 different scroll events, 15 different event listeners on every single message. It does look really stunning. I mean, you did a great job. You want to show up your website where people can actually purchase your template if they want to build a fantastic chat application using the only good backend tool out there, Xano, which is now $29 per month, and Nordcraft as your front end tool. And they don't have to start from scratch. You can use Leonard's years of wisdom from design and development to get it set up. Put up your advertisement. We're doing this always on the channel. Everything is full of advertisement. I think I actually took the website down, but if anyone wants it, you can just message me on Discord. I'm on Discord, and he'll send you the payment link. Yeah. I have a website for this kind of situation, right? Yeah, but it's like I realized that when I published the website, it's like
it's one thing to build it for yourself, and then it's another thing to make it so other people can easily use it.
Oh yeah,
There's like
you have lots
big
of
difference.
customer support for that.
Yeah, and that's not really something I'm looking to do. So
You just got to give me some cues and a little cheat sheet, and then you can send them to office hours.
yeah, well, and then you will roast me because I didn't do. There's some things that are,
Would I improve it? Yes.
and-
Would I roast you? Maybe.
well, fair enough. That's. I think there's one of the quickest ways to learn, right? It's just you try something the way you think it should be or it could work, and then you have someone look over it who's like knows a little bit more about what you're doing, and then he's just like, no, you got to do it this way. But then you understood it.
If you're afraid to make mistakes, you're never going to get it out there. When you started, I was looking at your stuff. You were asking me how to make a button, how to make a tag input, and all that. Like,
Oh yeah,
I want to click on all those random tags about socks, and it needs to be added to the list.
Yeah, it was tough.
And I was like, what the heck is he building?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we lost your connection. Ooh. Nope.
Yes,
No, you're back. You're back.
Okay. You want to repeat what you said?
Oh, I said I just talked about all the tags with like the socks that you were in our first office hour session, and I was like, no, you gotta put them into the variable. You gotta use append.
Oh yeah, I mean I feel like I'm, maybe I'm not, but it feels like I'm pushing a lot of what's possible in total. Like I have the real time.
Norcraft. It's now Norcraft. They changed their branding overnight without telling anybody. Norcraft. It's with trees now. It's organic.
Yeah. No. Like stuff like detecting when a user's inside a chat or not.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I'm sending push notifications, and you need to know if a person is inside a chat, because otherwise you're sending them, they get the notifications while they're in the chat, which is annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing stuff with the WebSocket, the join event, the leave event. My connection.
Oh, your connection is fantastic.
My connection is back. Okay. And like the mark red, like the double ticks. Like as soon as the other user joins the chat, you get the double ticks and all of that stuff. And it's crazy to me that all of that works. And about a year ago, I didn't know how to append an element to a variable. Like it was like, what's a variable? Tell me more about that.
I remember that.
Because all I did before, because all the contact points I had to JavaScript before that was just like GSAP for like Webflow animations. Yeah. And I never understood what I was doing. I was just copying code from their forum and like using ChatGPT. So.
Do you even know what Webflow is when you use Webflow? You just use the main Webflow, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I still like.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great tool for landing pages and websites.
Yeah, but it's crazy that all of that's possible, and I didn't know literally what a variable was.
And you have no background. You were a designer, and now you're building essentially Instagram for your models and users.
Exactly.
That's very cool. I mean, this is the Norcraft success story we've been waiting for. You got a business, it's making money, you have real users. I hope most of them are not bots. I hope you have real users. There you go. They're really.
Oh, we do have bots, and it's an issue, but I'm working on that.
So you do have real users. You have an issue with bots. You're making money from it. This is a real business, and it's built in Norcraft, and it's doing well, I assume, right? It's profitable.
Yeah, like it's not my business, right? Like this client work, but yeah, it's pretty good.
That's very nice. So This is the first NordCraft success story. It's working, it's running, millions of API calls. It's also built on Xano. Now less API calls because you can make things more efficient by adjusting what you do in NordCraft. That's fantastic. So now to pull in some advertisement again for me, how did you do it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's crazy that all of that's possible, blah blah blah. But I also like I was in office hours every day for like 3 months, and I was asking questions that are probably really dumb.
We have
But
up.
that's how I learned.
I said we
Sorry?
have all your recordings up on the community, so people can go back
Oh
and
yeah,
to
exactly.
all your
You can
questions.
right, right. So you can see what I wanted to know. But yeah, I mean, I joined it every day, pretty much every day. I know there was a time where I felt bad because I was always the first one because I'm German. I always joined like 5 minutes earlier, and you always picked me as the first one. I was like, yeah, let the others go first because I felt bad. Um, but it's especially in the beginning. Like right now, I'm at a point where I can just Google some stuff, ask AI, and I'll figure it out. Um, I'm not saying that I couldn't learn anything, right? Like plenty of stuff to learn. Um, but I'm not waiting for office hours. Like if I have a problem at 9 in the morning, I'm just Googling it until I figure it out. And in the beginning, I didn't know what to search for. Like if you don't know what a variable is, like how are you gonna Google how to append something to like if you miss all of the context, then you just need someone to tell you like this is what a variable is, this is how you append to it, and this is how you can render this. Um, that's what you did, and it worked really really well. Um, and I'm surprised at how much I still don't know about all the JavaScript stuff, which you know a lot more about, and yet I still figure it out, right? Like I can make things work, and yeah, in the beginning it was just
I think the most important thing that you learn in office hours is you learn what questions to ask.
yeah, exactly.
You come in with a problem and you're unsure, and then I'm also unsure how to fix it because I don't know what you did. And then I'm starting asking you all the questions, almost like an interrogation. Did you do this? Did you do this? And then we're going to figure out if we ask the right question, we get the right answers, and then we figure out what's broken, then we figure out how we can fix it. Or if you don't know how to build it, you need to ask questions too. What is it that you want to do? How should this work? Should this be a page or a single page or whatever? And then once you have the right questions, you can find the right answers. It's all about finding the right questions to ask because you don't know what you don't know. And how would you know?
Yeah.
How would you know something if you don't know what to ask, right? So you got to get out there, you got to ask the question, and then you can learn the process of figuring out the answer to that question. Or you can, if it's about time, you just ask the question and we'll do it in office hours. And I think what people don't understand is in office hours, it's me helping you. You share your screen, I'm telling you where to click in NordCraft and how to set that up on Xano and all that.
Yeah.
It's
And I remember that a lot.
programming. It's babysitting for programming. I'm like, it's where you click.
Yeah, but I remember that a lot. Like most of the questions you asked, not only me, but pretty much like a lot of people, was just like, "What are you trying to do?"
Yeah.
Sometimes you just like, "Oh, I'm doing this, and then you would just say, "Wait, what are you trying to do?" And then you can reverse engineer back from that, which is the thinking pattern that I just didn't have. I was like, "Well, I just put some stuff together, maybe it works." But I didn't have like, okay, what do I actually need to happen, and then how do I get there? So yeah, and a lot of this time, especially in the beginning, like you actually build it with me. Like you didn't just tell me that's how you do it. Go do it yourself. You were like, okay, let's take like half an hour, and then you drew a circle on my screen, like press this button. That's it. Press this button.
We still do that. That's the whole idea of it. That's why I increased the pricing 3 times in the past few months. Because
but
there's
again,
a lot of circles I have to draw every day.
yeah, but the price I paid, I think I joined for like $80.
Yeah.
I think I paid $80. And I went there every day. So in the first month, I don't know how many, dollars per hour you actually made of me,
It
but it
was
was
like
much.
it was. I
And
could have a very comfortable life for that in, I think, the Philippines.
yeah, probably I'll be your sole customer. But um, yeah, I mean, again, even if I told you in the beginning, even if like 10 times that, I would pay $1,000 a month to like just think about how much longer it would have taken me if I figured out. Like I wouldn't have figured that out. I would have given up at some point, because especially in the beginning, the learning curve is just a little bit steep, and then it's two new tools. I actually thought about using Wiz, but gladly I
They
didn't.
to host your
Yeah,
site.
yeah, yeah. But I had to learn Xano, I had to learn Nordcraft, and then basically what learning Nordcraft means is learning JavaScript. There's a lot of new stuff, and on my own, I would have probably just quit. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's just way too much of a mountain of unknown. Where like, how do I get this into a variable? Like, yeah. So you saved me a lot of time and a lot of pain, that's for sure. And you made it like 100 times quicker, no doubt.
I gotta add that 100x on my landing page.
I mean, I think you posted it once,
10x,
right?
but I think that was too low.
I mean, if I think about what I spent and what I made, it's a little bit more than 10x. And also like time savings, if you calculate that in, then it's way more, way more. But just in terms of cash, it's like 20, maybe 20 or 25. So
That's a great ROI.
yeah. And the best part is I didn't know about office hours. I needed a file uploader so I can upload images. And you were like, well, I have one inside the community. And I was like, okay, for $80 I could get a file uploader and save myself like a month of work. Sure, I get that. And then I realized there's office hours.
I'm doing a
And then I
terrible
joined
job at
office hours.
advertising the fact that we have office hours. I think I'm doing better than I used to. But at the beginning, I remember people thought I would be a course seller and selling templates of stuff nobody wants or needs, and then I'm making my money with selling courses and templates. I was like, no, I'm making my money by drawing circles on your screen and helping step by step. It is an actual business. I'm not a course seller.
Yeah. And I mean, the templates are great, right? I remember the file upload template.
The art
And
but
all
a
the
template doesn't help you if you don't know how to set up. Like people are selling templates, and usually the template is people to get them into the door to then, at some point quit and have you build it. That's why most people sell templates. I'm having the templates to have less work in office hours. They're not
Yeah.
part of it, right?
Yeah,
You get them
exactly.
for free if you join office hours. So we have quicker office hours, and we can serve more people in less time while working more efficiently. Then you have the template, so you got a starting point. So all those things are meant to complement office hours, not to replace it. So you can run with the templates, and you only have to join when you don't know how to set that up or that template is failing you.
Yeah. I think I did it the other way around. I joined office hours, and then you told me that we already have a template for that.
This is also why I have the templates. I don't have to rebuild it 50 times in office hours with you. You just start with a template, and then we'll customize it the way you want it to, right? And we'll do that together, and I'm drawing on your screen, putting circles and smileys and arrows on your screen. And then if I do an error and you are looking at the wrong direction, I'm just drawing at your whole screen to make sure to get you into look into that direction. Remember that?
No. I was always concise, following your instructions. No, yeah, I wasn't. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's what you need, right? Like, if you think about the fastest way to learn a skill is just someone actually just looking at the screen with you and just like, do this, and then why? Well, because of this, and then this. Compared to you just watching some random tutorial Um, yeah. For Nordcraft, which there aren't that many of,
Most
to
of
be
them are men.
fair. You know, yeah, exactly, exactly. I actually didn't like you in the beginning because I was watching your YouTube videos. Like, oh, what is this guy? What's this? What's he on about? And then after like 5 videos, I was like, shit, he actually knows something, you know? Like,
To be fair,
got a
you're not the
message.
only one.
Yeah,
Usually
I
takes
agree.
two people, like it usually takes 2 weeks for people to stop not liking me, and then like another 2 weeks to actually say, he's different, but he knows something. And then usually in like 2 months they will see them in office hours.
Yeah, I think the reason why is because the first video I saw was a Wiz tutorial and it was just confusing, but that's not because of your video, it's because of Wiz. I was like, oh, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I joined. I'm glad I joined. And again, like the amount of time and money is saved is no number can be assigned to
That's
it.
wonderful. Thank you for being on this great infomercial.
Happy to be here.
But is there anything else you want to show people, or you want to tell them that you wish someone would tell you when you were starting out on this journey of building an application?
Well, aside from joining office hours, I don't know. Because that's honestly like as soon as you get to the point where you can figure things out on your own, you do whatever you want. But until that point where like, okay, I know how to reverse engineer what I want, when sometimes you don't even know what it is you need to get to what you actually need, then just have someone tell you what to do. Like there's no point in messing around all day. Which is, to be fair, a lot of, like, I think we talked about some other tools. I'm not sure if it's Bubble. Some other tool where there's like nobody actually launches something. Just they
To be fair,
I'm not sure what app it was, but
I said to be
you say not.
fair, it's Nordcraft.
No, I think it was West. I'm pretty sure
Also,
it was West because
also
they
with,
didn't have,
yeah, I think with
yeah.
Nordcraft, the problem that they're having is it looks like Bubble, and it has the complexity of Whist once you get into it.
Does it look like Bubble?
I mean,
I don't know.
it looks like a NoCode tool to get in, and once you're in it, you're like, oh damn, I gotta write JavaScript, and I gotta do events, and what's an npm package, and should I use them for everything?
Oh yes, of course. Always import as many packages as you can
Yes.
into your project. That's it. Yeah. No.
Weren't you the
But
one in office hours who wanted to import an npm package to make a tag input, or was it someone else? Oh,
no, I wasn't
someone who
that.
wanted to
I
import
had.
npm package to make a tag input.
It seems like a React developer thing to do. Like, just import. I've seen some memes where someone's like importing true, importing false, so they can do like, yeah. I'm actually really careful about that now. Like, I just don't import anything unless I even got rid of one signal because one signal is not really good for privacy. Like, it logs every message you send, so
They are
that's
GDPR
not so great.
compliant.
That's what they say, but it might have.
Enough to
Well,
not get
anyway,
sued by the European people, I would say. But I'm just saying.
it's just not big enough to get sued. That's all. But anyway,
Oh my god! Now I
uh,
gotta add, and now I gotta add an alternative to Despia for one signal. Oh my god! And they just
it's
they're
actually really easy. It's
compliant,
really
and
really
they
easy.
told us they stopped selling data in 2019. So
Plus, when they stop doing, we lied to you, but now we don't. Um, it's actually really simple. Like sending push notifications is really easy. And you trigger the prompt natively, which is just JavaScript, then you get a like a device ID, subscription ID you get from Apple and from Chrome, whatever. You save it to Xeno, you map it to your user.
Do you do this with an NPM package or?
It's like 20 lines of Lambda in Xeno.
Pretty
it's not much.
Cool.
I
gotta talk with
if
we could do this for Despia so we can cut out one signal.
Yeah, it's really not that difficult.
Even though they're GDPR compliant, that's what they say.
Yes.
And if they say that's enough, that's enough.
Well, in Despia, to be fair, in Despia, using one signal is really easy because you just paste in your ID, like your app ID, I think it is. But if you work with a PWA, because I can't get into the App Store, then it was like, it took me a week to get it working. And now that I did it on my own, it was like a weekend. Or like 1.5 days to get it going. So
when you PWA, you're always fighting against certain limitations of being in the PWA. And doing it as a native mobile application with Despia is usually the best thing, unless you're doing what Leonard is doing and you're in a specific category that Apple does not want on the App Store.
Very true.
They're discriminating you.
Yeah, it would be a lot easier if I could just make an app. Like a lot of those stuff with the touch events, it's just working around the browser and not triggering some other stuff that just wouldn't be an issue in an app. But no, it is what it is. I can't get into it unless I fake it as a calculator app, which
I gave you an idea, but
yeah.
I remember you were saying, how can I get this on the App Store? I said, you got to get this as a calculator app on the App Store. And then if they put in the specific code. We got creative customer support at Despia if you were helping you.
Yeah, I mean, but I still got a Despia license, and I tried doing it. So maybe one day there's another app.
You gotta change your bundle ID, I think.
I'll remember that when I watch your tutorial.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. It's exciting to learn from how you've built this application with live users in Nordcraft. I think this is one of the Nordcraft success stories that they probably don't want to have on their landing page.
Fair enough.
But it is a success story still.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and thank you for helping me in office hours.
You're welcome.
Like 100 times.
Wonderful. Thank you all for watching. And if you have any questions to Leonard, feel free to put them in the comments. Do you want to put up your website where people can contact you if they need any kind of website, web application, mobile application developed with your extensive experience and knowledge? You want to share that?
Yeah, I just have my German website. Just message me on Discord. That's
Discord handle. Maybe we can put it on the screen here.
Yeah, that's my name and then BLMN.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Yep. Thank you for being here, and thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.